Hi everyone, welcome back to your mats. So today we're going to be going through a really nice stretchy flow. It's predominantly focused on spinal mobility and back stretches and also our hips. I have got with me 2 yoga blocks. However, this class can all be done without any blocks and just your mat, a little bit of space around you. If you feel like you do have quite tight hips, I would recommend having some blocks and they're just going to assist you into the stretches. You could also use some yoga books, some books or anything else similar, just to give you a little bit more height in some stretches. So this class also is prenatal friendly. I just want you to listen to your bodies, take rest if you need, and just take it really nice and slow. The focus is to really just open up, stretch out, and just bring some calmness back into the body and hopefully make you feel nice and relaxed and stretched out after. We're going to get straight into it today, guys. We're going to start standing. So grab your blocks if you need them, grab your mat out, and let's get started. All right, we're going to start with a little bit of spinal mobility. So just bringing your legs about shoulder width apart. You can have a little soften through the knees. You're going to inhale to reach those arms up, interlace the fingers, and just place the hands to the top of your head. Relax the shoulders down, and it feels like you're sort of pushing down into the head. Now can you feel like as if you're pushing your head up and into your hands? You're finding some length through your spine. And we're just going to go from side to side. Nice side bend up and over, and then lift up. Try to push up into those hands, keeping the shoulders relaxed. And big stretch over. Ground through the feet to lift up. So working into that lateral side bend and return. Aiming to keep your hips stacked over your knees. Just working into this one. You can take it nice and slow and squeezing back up. And stretch, and lift. Now if you want to go a little bit deeper, you're going to stretch it over, reach those arms long, keep pulling those knuckles away from you, return the hands, squeeze back up, and over, finding length as you return to center, re-stretch through the spine, and over, and reach, return, and back. Working with that breath. Now if you want to go even deeper, as you go over, you're going to stretch, and then can you push your hips a little bit further away? Return the hips, return the hands, squeeze back up, all the way over. Stretch, maybe a little push of those hips, return, return. And lift one more time each side, and over. Stretch, and reach, return, and squeeze. Breathe. And recover. Hands come behind your head, elbows nice and wide, the ribs are softening down, a little soften through those knees. We're going to go for a little rotation towards the right and then back to the center. Trying to find some movement into your upper back whilst keeping your hips facing forward as much as you can. We twist and center and twist and center. Noticing maybe if one side feels a little bit tighter than the other. For 3. For 2, and for 1. Return to center. Inhale, we're going to lift the chest, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, chin to chest, rolling yourself all the way up and over. Keep your hands behind your head. Elbows relax either side of your head, rolling all the way down. Allow that head to be heavy. Inhale. On your exhale, rolling yourself all the way back up. Restack the spine and then rotate to the right. Rotate to the left. Inhale, open, lift through that upper back. Exhale, chin to chest, soften through those knees, rolling yourself down. Take your time, just going as low as you can. Breathe into that stretch. Look between your legs, rolling yourself back up. Standing yourself nice and tall. We twist right. We twist left. All right, one more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Rolling yourself all the way down. And then rolling yourself back up. Now we're just going to take those rolls for me just a couple more times. Coming to the top of your mat if you're not there already. Inhale to lift, exhale chin to chest, rolling yourself up and over. Nice deep breath and then rolling back up. Take your time. Open up and rolling down. And all the way back up. One more time for me. And lift. And down. When we get to the bottom, we're going to reach our hands slowly to the floor and you're going to gently walk yourself out to a little downward facing dog. Press into the hands, raise those heels nice and high, relax the head, and then just take a gentle walk out through those legs. If you're pregnant, you can bring your feet a little bit wider if you need. Maybe dropping both heels down, lifting both heels up. Or maybe just simply holding that stretch really actively pressing away from the hands. Now, my prenatal ladies, you're going to bring yourself down onto your hands and knees, and you're just going to take a couple of very gentle cat-cows, and you can sort of play with this one a little bit, maybe a little flexion, a little wiggle of your tail. If you're not pregnant, you're going to come to lie onto your tummy, pushing those blocks away. Roll the shoulders open, legs are nice and long, and we're just going to lift up into a couple of gentle extensions for the back. You don't need to go too high. And just work with the breath. Holding up, maybe a little turn of the head. And back down. Good. Lengthening and opening. Shoulders away from ears. And down. Just 2 more like this. And lift. And lower. And then last one. And down. We're all going to push back into a nice child's pose and stretching out that back. Knees can be wider if you need. And just relaxing those hips heavy. Head to the mat and just give a little wiggle of those hips side to side. Nice deep inhale through your nose and exhale it out. As you inhale, see if you can get a nice expansion through the ribs. Bring the breath into your lower back. Exhale it out. Well done, guys. We're going to bring ourselves up. Now we're going to be stepping into a wide lunge. Go with your leg furthest away from your camera for me. So nice and wide. Now this is the point, if you need your yoga blocks, you're welcome to bring your blocks just in front of you, just to help assist with the stretch. If you don't have blocks, absolutely fine, hands to the floor. So wiggle this back knee a little bit further back and seeing if you can bring your hips nice and low into this lovely stretch. Rolling those shoulders open. All right, now you can play with letting your right knee, or your front knee, open out a little bit wider, so you're sort of rocking onto the outside of the foot. See how that feels. We're going to inhale to reach the same arm as your front leg up towards the ceiling. Nice big rotation. Exhale to come down, seeing if you can lower that elbow towards your block or the floor. Rotate and lift. And back down. Good. So if you don't need the blocks, just push them away. You can do the same thing here. Opening up and all the way down. Deepening that hip stretch. Try to keep the hips still as you rotate through that upper body. 2 more, and open, and down, and last one. We're going to hold that elbow down. We're going to see if the opposite elbow can join. So again, use your blocks if you need. We're just going to breathe and hold into this lovely stretch. Maybe letting that front knee drop open to the side and just going a little bit deeper into that front hip. Nice deep breaths. We're going to be here for 5. Inhale and exhale. In 3. Relax the shoulders. In 2. And 1. Gently bring yourself back up onto the hands. And we're going to, just if you've got the blocks, you're going to bring them either side of the front foot now. And you're going to wiggle your foot a little bit closer, a little bit more so it's in line with your hip. All right, so hands on the blocks if you got. We're going to allow that bum to slightly tuck under. So you're tucking the tailbone under and you're just letting those hips come forward, lifting the chest slightly up. Now from here, we're going to tuck those back toes under. Without lifting the hips, we're going to see if we can extend that back leg just as much as you can, opening through the hip and then drop it back down. And again. And down. So if you need to, you can always go hands a little bit higher, lifting those hips a little bit higher, and you can do the same thing here. Or you can go hands onto the floor. So just sort of playing with where you're at. A nice active stretch through that back thigh. We'll go for 4. And back in 3. Nice, feels like you're pushing that heel away from you. Good, 1 more. Dropping that knee down for me, you're going to stretch yourself back into a little hamstring release, trying to square that front hip as much as you can. Shift yourself forward, open out through that back hip, and then lift the knee. Drop the knee down, shift it back. Again, play with the position of the blocks if you need. Shift yourself forward, chest opens, and lift. Nice and slow through this one. You can hold any positions a little bit longer if you need. Now, if anyone wants a little bit more, can you keep your back knee lifted? And then you're going to extend back into that hamstring stretch, maybe flexing the front foot. Dropping that down and then open out. And then sending those hips back. Stretch and and drop back down. So optional to drop the knee to the floor if this is feeling quite strong. And forward, 2 more. And out. And forward, and then last one. And forward, well done guys. You're going to bring your blocks into the inside and we're going to carefully rotate into a nice wide forward fold. So you may need to sort of shuffle those feet in a little bit closer, and you can use your blocks onto the floor and you're just going to fold yourself up and over. Now you can sort of lose the blocks if you need as well, and hands to the floor. Relaxing the head and just breathe into this forward fold, looking through those legs, into your nose and out to your mouth. Awesome work. We're going to slowly start to roll ourselves all the way up to stand. And then from here, you're going to rotate your toes onto a slight diagonal out to the side. You're going to go for a nice deep bend. Your hands slide down the insides of the legs, coming into the insides of the knees. Now put a bit of weight into those hands and you're just going to slowly drop your right shoulder forward as you gently press that right knee away from you. Open out through that inner thigh. Inhale, come back up, and then exhale, gently press that left knee away. Inhale to lift, exhale. So sitting the hips low, pressing those knees out. Open up into that inner thigh. 2 more. And back, and then last one. Back, well done. Feet come back to parallel, and then folding yourself up and over. We're going to grab those weights, so used to saying that, your blocks, and you're going to crawl yourself back across to that second side. And then we're going to drop ourselves back down. So we're going to start straight into that parallel hip flexor lunge stretch. So tucking the bum slightly under, squeezing this glute, and then allowing those hips to drop. Please adjust the blocks if you need. Opening out through that chest. We're going to extend that back leg. And release. And extend. And release. That's it. Open out through the hip. Try not to lift and lower those hips, keeping those hips down. Get 2 more. And down, and then last one. All right, drop the back knee, stretch it all the way back. Maybe flexing that front foot, and then shift it forward, tuck the bum, and lift that back leg. Gosh, I feel like my toes, I feel very numb. It's very cold in this studio now that we're in winter. I warmed up from the previous workouts, but my toes always seem to stay numb. And back, shifting forward. All right. So if you want a little bit more, we're going to aim to try to stay up. So you're keeping that back leg extended. Again, you can always play around with the positions of your blocks. We extend, open out through that hip, and then we're going to push back, maybe a little flex to that front foot, and then we shift it forward. Open out, and we stretch it back. Work with the breath. Let's go 3 more. And back. 2 more. And back. And last one. And back. Well done. This time we're going to shift ourselves back down, gently lower the knee, and you're going to bring your blocks down to the inside and then just shuffle that foot a little bit wider. You can place the blocks down a little bit lower if you need, or you can keep them higher. Allow those hips to come down, and now your knee is gently opening out. You can always use that front arm to sort of push it out a little bit more. Nice deep breaths here. Inhale and exhale. And we're going to go for a little rotation. So it's the same arm as your front leg is going to open up, little rotation through the back, and then seeing if you can bring that elbow down towards the block. And lifting up and down. So again, you can get rid of those blocks if you feel like you can with the hips, just sort of push them forward. And then the same thing here. Open up and down. Deep and push into that front foot. Nice deep breaths. We'll go 1 more. And then we're going to try hold it. So again, you can use the blocks, but we're going to try to drop both those elbows and just let that front knee open out to the side. Maybe even you want to go for a little rock side to side. Find that spot that works. Nice deep breaths here. Strong into that hip. Amazing, guys. We're going to pop ourselves back up onto the hands when you're ready. Very carefully, just stepping that knee back for me and just give the bum a little wiggle side to side. Nice little release of those hips. That's it, and you're just going to stretch back up into a nice downward facing dog. Take a little pedal out through those legs. We're going to move on to a little bit more glute work now. So slowly lowering yourself back down onto the mat. We're going to come to a little seated position, a little pretzel seated position. Now, if you've got quite tight hips, what you can do is sit onto a block, and then your opposite block is going to come underneath this knee. And you're bringing this front leg, so you've got one hip on the block, one knee on the block. You're bringing the front leg, so rest that whole leg up if you like, almost parallel to the front of your mat. Keeping this front foot flexed as well, and then you can have this leg out to the side. I'm not too fussed about this leg. Squaring your hips off for me, and then hands can come to the floor, and then you're just trying to stretch up and over the leg. Nice deep breaths. You can always try it without the front knee on the block, and then you're stretching forward, or you can try it all together without any blocks, and you're coming up and over. So what I don't want you to do is be tucking the bum and rounding into the back and you're trying to get yourself forward. I'd prefer you to get a little bit higher off the hips, find that lift, that length, and then be able to hinge up and over that hip. Nice deep breaths. We're just finding length. We're breathing into it. And then what you can do is really press into the hands, use the hands, and we're just going to gently shift our weight over towards the foot and then over towards the knee. Now, if you're pregnant, you might want to just stay up on the hands and just breathe into it, or maybe those blocks will help you a little bit as well to get a little bit more of a hinge into those hips. And a little shuffle side to side. Nice deep breaths. All right, guys, on the next one, we're going to bring ourselves up. Now, do make sure that this leg is also at a 90-degree angle. Now, if you're sitting on blocks, get rid of your blocks for me. I want you sitting onto the floor for this one. Your hands are going to come back behind you, and you're lifting the chest up. So really nice and lifted through the chest, flexing your feet. So you're going to be rotating on your heels. Without moving your hip, you're going to try to open this top knee as much as you possibly can behind you. When you can't go any further, you're going to start to rotate towards that leg. Don't let this knee come off the floor. You're going to go as far as you can. When you can't go any further, you're going to start to let this back knee follow you, and it's going to slowly start to come around. Keep lifting through the chest. Keep going, keep going, keep going. From here, you're trying to drop this knee down onto the floor. Keep that lift, and then this back knee is also coming down onto the floor. And then we're going to go again. We start with this left leg or the back leg. We open as much as we possibly can. Rotate through that hip. Keep the chest lifted. When you can't go any further, you're going to start to open through the hip. You rotate those hips. Then this back knee is going to start to come. Keep lifting, keep lifting, keep lifting. Trying to rotate this leg open, open, open. This leg is slowly, slowly coming. Try not to go too quick. Rotate that hip all the way around. And lift. We're just going to continue that, so it's nice and slow. You start with the back leg, go as far as you can, then the hips follow, hold, and then that back knee follows. And we twist. So if you want this to be a little bit more challenging, try to be a little bit more upright with it, and then you're opening. We're rotating. Woo. All the way around. If it's still not enough, arms can be forward of you, really keeping that nice lift open. Oh, rotate, rotate, rotate. Trying to lift up, lift up, lift up. All the way around. And again, open. Slow, 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 slow. So you're really trying to rotate through those hips and around. 2 more. All the way around. And then last one. Oh, we're going to finish back towards that second side, so we're going to do one more. All the way around. Oh, relax. Well done. Shuffle yourself so you're back into the center, and if you use your blocks on the first side, sit yourself back into the same position on the second side. So we want to aim for our hips and our shoulders to be square over this leg. Front leg is aligning up with the front of your mat, and then the back leg, it's okay for it to be slightly forward or just out to your side. Lifting yourself up, whether you're on the blocks or not, and then we're hinging ourselves up and over that front leg. You can take that a couple of times, just lifting and hinging, starting to really get into that back hip. Up and forward. So it's your front hip, your front glute, that's it. And then we can take little rock. So my hips are feeling super tight today. And side to side. Maybe if you find a spot and you're like, oh my gosh, that's just so tight, you're just going to breathe and hold, relax the shoulders. You can always bring yourself further forward if you need. You can sort of crawl side to side. So just making sure that you're not tucking the bum, you're trying to send that tailbone back. Well done, guys. Amazing. Bringing yourself all the way back up for me. We're going to finish with one last little one. I just want you to give your legs a little shake out. Take a little moment to breathe. All right, we're going to go for one last little one. Sitting yourself tall. Again, you can sit yourself onto both the blocks, so both your hips up a little bit higher if you want, even a pillow or a cushion. You're going to cross one leg on top. That's it. So you're trying to cross your knees, sitting yourself tall. That's it. Really wiggle those hips, sit yourself all the way up. Now this might be enough and you're just going to breathe and hold. It's going to be a little bit more into the outer hips. Inhale and exhale. If you can always fold slightly forward and see how that feels. And if it's still not enough, you're going to try to bend this underneath knee. So your feet are sort of coming towards your bum, both sit bones on the floor, but your knees are crossed. And then same thing, you might want to sit or you might want to fold forward. Now, if you're pregnant, you've got a bigger belly, you can come into a figure 4 glute stretch instead. So you're going to cross one ankle over your thigh, sitting yourself nice and tall like so. You can have your hands further back or hands forward, and then you can slowly walk that knee further forwards. So you've got a little bit more space. You can lean slightly back into that one. All right, guys, so wherever you are in that hip stretch, just nice deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. And if you're still sort of all the way forward, you're not feeling it, you can wiggle those feet. I don't know if I can do this. Look at your feet all the way out, a little bit wider, and then you're trying to breathe into that. Nice deep breaths. Exhale. On that exhale, just allow yourself to melt. And then we'll bring ourselves up. Let's switch it to the second side. We'll start off with a little shake. So your figure 4 if you would like as well. If not, you're crossing that top leg over. Shuffle the bum. That might be enough. Just breathe and hold. Maybe a little hinge. Maybe you want to bend the bottom knee. Oof, I know this is my tighter side. Sitting tall. Breathe. Relax those shoulders. Or maybe it's a little hinge forward. This is it for me today. I can feel that one. Nice deep breaths into your nose and out to your mouth. Enjoy it as much as you can. Last exhale. Bringing yourself back up. Well done, guys. Oh, shake it up. Let's go feet together to finish this off. Give a little rock side to side. That's it. Open out through those inner thighs. And we're just going to finish by crawling those hands as far forward as you can. Breathing into that lovely stretch, relaxing the head, letting everything go. Rounding through the back, relaxing through the neck. Inhale and exhale. Slowly bring yourself back up. Just cross your legs. You can stay how you are, or you can just cross your legs into a comfortable seated position. Give those shoulders a couple of rolls, opening out. And then sitting yourself nice and tall for me, and just gently drop one ear towards one shoulder. Really allow that nice neck stretch. Let the head be heavy. Breathe into it. Lift the head up through the center to the second side. Opening out. And lift, and then turn your head to the right. And center, turn your head to the left. And center, and then look up to the ceiling. Bring your lips together. Drop your head towards the chest. And bring yourself back up. Give your shoulders a good circle, guys. You are all done for today. I hope your hips feel a little bit more open. Remember, the more you can practice, the more you can give yourself into those stretches, the easier or the more free they will become. Any questions, guys, please let me know. If not, I will see you back on your mats very soon. Have an amazing day. Well done.